But it's fine. Welcome back to another episode of Talking to the Media, your home for entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. I'm zoomed out, but hey, we got the whole bunch here. I guess that's a good way to introduce everybody. Welcome back to the episode on another Thursday where we're going to talk like entertainment news and reviews by fans for fans. I'm your host, Chris Fagan, and joining me is Robert
Reed from RXR Props.
And
Joy.
Fagan. Just joy. Guys, we're going to talk about spoilers for the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. We just saw it. This is our second time seeing it. So if you guys have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, this is the we decided that this is the time we're going to go full spoilers. So we're sure that everybody here has seen it, right? No?
I have not, but I'm written in, so spoilers are fine.
Okay.
I'm not going to be dissuaded from watching it.
All right. So like I said, we're going full spoilers. I'm not going to get sued after we discuss this film today, right? So guys, if you have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine yet, what the hell is your problem? Two, I mean, I don't want to hear, I got a job, I got kids. I don't hear that. I don't want to hear that. What is your problem? It's like, there's no excuse.
No excuses.
So, like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything you want to add to the conversation, put it in the box. We're watching the chat. I'm going to put your comments up on display as we go along. We're going to talk about some other developing news and why is that trending segment where the Robert Downey Jr. Reveal for Dr. Doom and the response from the actor formerly known as Kang. So we're going to get into all that, guys. Let's get right into it. So. Babe, let's go back to the first topic of the week.
This is week 2 for Deadpool and Wolverine, which opened up with over 211 million domestically and 444 million worldwide.
Wow.
We are going to go over the spoilers.
So
Break it down.
Well, we'll go right into it. But what did you? Well, let's just real fast recap exactly what the story was all about. So the movie starts off in Deadpool's universe, where the movie actually starts off with him in the woods looking as he was looking for Logan, and he's being attacked by the TVA. And then we get a little flashback and to how we all got here.
We get the NSYNC Bye 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 dance off.
Which is now trending all over the place now.
Take it back. Like,
let's go back to how we got here. And so he discovered during his birthday party, I think it was his birthday, all of his family, friends, everybody from the previous movies come to celebrate his birthday.
He's now been living on a different Earth 1000. I don't know. It listed on the screen.
No, that was his Earth. That was the Earth for Deadpool, Earth 10005 or something like that.
It has it on the screen.
That's his Earth. So that's where it all starts. But as they're celebrating, we learn that him and Vanessa are broken up, and
he's trying to be normal. He's wearing a hair system.
Yeah, he's not trying to. Yeah, the hair system was funny.
Stapled to his head.
And immediately, and I'm assuming immediately, based on what happened with what happened in part 2 with all the time travel, he's introduced to the TVA. And we assume that it's because he got in trouble with all that time travel.
We're assuming that that's what they're there for. Is
to talk about all the crimes of time that he did. But then we learn something new that's never ever been introduced in any of the Marvel movies before. That there is his universe is dying because his universe's anchor being has died, which turns out to be Logan. And because at first he assumed he was am I the anchor being? And they just bust out laughing. No. So I thought that was. So I wanted to first talk about this whole concept of the anchor being. What do you based on the other Marvel movies that we've seen that they've never introduced this concept before? How did it come up? And you guys, let me know what are your thoughts about the anchor being? Did Did it make sense to you? Did you like it as a?
I mean, it didn't bother me, but I also don't like read all the so. Seeing new stuff doesn't faze me because I'm like, maybe it's
I forgot to
somewhere.
I'm over here forgetting to push the switch button, but
I just don't know.
Learning that Logan was the anchor being, you learn that when an anchor being in a universe dies, then the universe slowly, dies. I took it as a metaphor for. I took this whole concept of an anchor being as a metaphor for studios. When they fail and when they die, but in the movie they took it very seriously.
But he said typically this happens over thousands of years.
Yeah, it takes a long time for that universe to fade out. But
but he wanted to speed it up.
Yeah, that was the plot of the movie. That the TVA wanted to. He didn't like just monitoring, babysitting universes and watching them slowly fade out of existence. He wanted to speed up the process because he just I just want to get things done. So. Your universe's anchor being, which is Logan, has died because he died in the last Logan movie. So your universe is about to be deleted. But we have decided to save you and pluck you out of your universe and bring you to the main MCU, the
big expanded
what did they call it? The sacred timeline.
The sacred timeline.
So that was the gift that they were going to give to Logan. But you have to abandon your friends. You have to turn your back on them. They cannot come with you. Only you. Your universe is about to die. And obviously, Deadpool is not going to let that happen. So his whole thing in this movie is, okay, if the reason why my universe is dying because Logan died, let me just go get another Logan and problem solved. But it turns out you can't just trade one anchor being with just another variant, especially the Logan that he picked, which turned out to be the worst Logan of them all because this Logan
was super hated.
Yeah, super hated in his universe because I'm assuming just like what we saw in the first X-Men movie when the X-Men were trying to convince Logan to join. Remember how hesitant he was?
Yeah.
In this universe, he didn't come back. They all died.
And then because they all died, he got so upset about it that he went on a rampage and just started killing everybody.
Which made the legacy of the X-Men even worse. See, so all the humans were like, see how all these mutants are. So he just made everything worse.
Really dark time.
Because I'm assuming he went to a berserker barrage. Anyway, so that was the whole the plot of the movie. So Deadpool wants to save his universe by convincing the TVA to spare his universe. He convinces Logan to help him because hey, maybe the TVA can go back and help you out too. And the TVA villain we get introduced to, Paradox is this guy's name. What do you think about?
Well, I mean, when
this
he
young man,
snatches Logan from his and brings him back, he didn't really bring him back very willingly. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to help.
Yeah,
and of course
he goes to attack Paradox. Paradox zaps
is very quickly like
what was
this
those
is not part of
that take you out of the universe.
And Loki, where they
send you to the void.
Yeah.
And when Wolverine,
he was like, this isn't even part of the plan. Like I don't really know. We're not doing this. And then zapped them both to the void.
To the void. And so now the mission is to get out of the void so we can save their universes. And the buddy cop movie pretty much begins. So overall, my thoughts on this movie was I'm still debating on whether or not this is the best Deadpool. It's a close second to Deadpool 1. Deadpool 1 had a special place with me. I like Deadpool 1 the most, but I'm still debating on whether or not this is better or equal or like in second place. I know if it's not better than Deadpool 1, I'm gonna rank it Deadpool 1, Deadpool and Wolverine, and then Deadpool 2. Not saying that Deadpool 2 wasn't good. It's just in comparison to this one to me was better than Deadpool 2.
That's a big claim too.
But I'm wondering where I'm gonna rank it. What about you, Beth? What did you?
It might be my favorite. Probably, I mean, some of that's nostalgia, but
you sure it's not that recency bias? Because it's the last thing you saw, or you said it's the nostalgia?
The nostalgia. It was. I enjoy seeing all the stuff pop up But other than that, it would be the first one.
So yeah, it was Earth 1005, or that's the Earth that they're from. When one of the things I loved about this movie was when they sold him still using. I'm assuming. See, I always assumed that time travel can also in the Marvel universe zap you to other universes as well. Not just go back in time on your planet, but also if you go back in time far enough, change something and change the present, you technically found a way to leap to that other universe. Because all these universes have similarities, but there's always these little differences. So I'm assuming that there's two ways to go to another universe. Either just jump from your universe to that next universe, or go back in time in your universe, change something so much that you now found a way to tap into that other universe. That's my theory on how is Deadpool able to go into the main timeline and then try to audition to be an Avenger if the Avengers don't exist in his universe? How is he had a time traveling device, but how is he able to jump universes? So I'm assuming that either time travel devices can do both, or you have to do it the long way and go back in time, change something enough to create that or tap into that other universe. That's just my theory. So anyway, he finds a way to go to the main timeline and tries to audition to become an Avenger, and he meets Happy Hogan. He tries to audition. He said, and he's just cracking up and making jokes about, well, I thought I was going to meet Robert. And I'm assuming he did go back in time a little bit too, because obviously I think Robert Downey Jr. was still alive.
Yeah, he was there.
This was 2018, but he's like,
he wants to meet the big guy, and he's like, well, the big guy doesn't do this anymore.
Doesn't do interviews. But why am I being interviewed by the chauffeur? But so he's cracking wise on while he's trying to audition. But one of the things that I thought was really awesome was the fact that Hogan said, well, you're telling me that the reason why you want to be an Avenger is because you need it, but we don't, but people become Avengers because people need them. It's not because you need the people. It was like your reasonings are a little selfish right now, but we're going to keep, but he said, we're going to keep our eye on you.
And he was like, jump for the middle, because then you'll never.
You're aiming too high.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jump for the middle. Aim for the middle because you'll never miss, is what I think the line was. But all of that to me, it just felt like it was a metaphor for what was actually happening in the development of these movies. Like like the question of, will Deadpool ever be in the MCU and be in the Avengers and stuff? Does it make sense because he's too cracked?
Well, apparently that was what all even sparked him and Vanessa to break up. Was because the Avengers,
when he was rejected,
said no, and he just
got
decided,
depressed.
I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be Deadpool. I'm just going to be a normal dude.
Yeah.
And she was like, that's not what you were meant for, and you're just floundering. Mm-hmm. And so then they broke up.
So moving forward, when he is on his quest to find another Logan to save his universe, there's like you said, they're stuck in the void, and their mission is to try to get out. And that's when they start really revving up the cameos. We already meet once again. We meet the Deadpool cameos, like his Blind Owl. Is it Blind? Mm. What's her name? Is it Blind Owl?
Blind Owl.
Is that her name? Kamiko and Megasonic, Teenage Warhead. We meet all the regulars, and and it's fun.
They're all at his birthday party.
They're all at his birthday party. So, but then when we get into the void, that's when it picks up. During that interview with Happy Hogan, there was a phrase that I had to write down. It was like, I like to smasturbate to the X-Men. It's like, what is that? That's when you take some Hulk hand toys, and so you'll
I get it.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot from. I was really writing my notes down, and that led to the whole the Disney pegging joke, and then meeting the TVA, and then get into that argument, and then going straight to the void. After that, what was the first cameo that came out? Oh, let's just talk about cameos right now. Like
the first cameo when they landed in the void was Steve. Chris
Evans. And I got to get your guys' opinion on.
And they're very. It was cloaked. So you're like, you see his face, but he's wearing like a robe.
The whole time I'm looking at Joy, I'm like.
And Ryan Reynolds keeps like saying, Captain, like this.
You're not gonna. I mean, the moment Chris Evans drops his first curse word, I'm like, no, no. And then the fact that he had a robe on, he had blue on. There was some red there, and he was wearing a little robe. And I was like, and she didn't know what, because I don't think you watched or remembered much of the Fantastic Four, and I was like, I bet that's Johnny.
Because he tells him he's going to do, they're
you're
about to face off, and he goes,
he's like, well, you're not going to like what's happening next.
Say the phrase,
Yeah, he's about to say the phrase, Avengers, flame on! Like, what the fuck? And he totally confuses, and then bursts into flame, he flies around. And Johnny Storm gets totally beat because he was facing off with Pyro from X-Men. And I mean, Johnny Storm he's the Human Torch, but Pyro can absorb fire, control fire. I guess I always assumed that the Human Torch was the most powerful fire person, but Pyro seems to be
the nemesis.
Yeah, he seems to be stronger. A return of Sabretooth, the original Sabretooth from the first X-Men movie. That original actor, I would have preferred to see the Sabretooth from the Wolverine movies, but I guess he didn't want to return. But we got the original Sabretooth back. There was rumors. Okay, so any other cameos that you had that you enjoyed after that? Besides, we'll get to the actual main one.
Yeah,
but between the main ones at the end, I'm talking about before that. That was any of them other stand out? We got to meet Charles Xavier.
Well, that was all X-Men people, so it really didn't mean a lot.
Yeah. So we get introduced to the big bad, which is Charles Xavier's twin sister, who was like, I guess they faced off in the womb, and Charles Xavier tried to destroy her, and even from infancy, she had to be taken. The TVA had to take her out.
She got sent there.
She got sent there when she was an infant. That's how evil and powerful she is.
What was the dude with the
Juggernaut?
The
Juggernaut from X-Men First Stand or Last Stand. Mm-hmm. X-Men Last Stand, but it wasn't the same actor. It was a younger dude. It wasn't him. Oh. So Deadpool made a little crack about how we got another Juggernaut, but
there was a guy that was red like a devil.
X-Men First Class.
That I
believe it would be what's his name? The guy who teleports. Nightcrawler's. I believe he would be Nightcrawler's father. So he was all red. Yeah, I believe it was the same actor. The gentleman who played Toad and played Darth Maul. Yeah. He returned.
Oh wow! And there was a lady too that was.
Lady Deathstrike.
That's right.
She was there as well. And they were all working for the big bad. They were all working for her. They were all afraid of her. She was not. She was damn near immortal.
She was in Charles's chair, and they were like,
they assumed it was.
She was like, well, we've had a few pop through, and I just was like,
every time a Charles comes in, take him out.
The chair.
She was tough. She was not to be messed with, even to the point where a lot of heroes were just afraid of her. You either die or you work for her. That's pretty much was going on.
And you die because she feeds you to
Goliath or what?
That big
Goliath from Loki.
Yeah, the roving monster.
Yeah, that would eat destroy people out of existence. Yeah, she I guess maintained her existence in the void because she would serve up people to Goliath. So I guess Goliath.
I like these tie-ins.
Yeah. So, and of course Deadpool even made, and I didn't know. One of the things I didn't think Deadpool would do, which he straight up did, besides all the self-deprecating jokes on Disney's expense, was he went straight into a deep cut of a fourth wall break. Oh, you mean Goliath from Loki season 1, episode 5? Like, he totally went straight to the episode.
I'm gonna call out my tie-in.
Yeah, like it was that hilarious. But going all the way into finally getting out of the void and meeting up with the big cameos. Now we finally went to the big cameos. You want to go? You want to go there, babe?
They escape Elias or whatever. Run into the pretty Deadpool, which is just Ryan Reynolds.
It was Van Wilder as a Deadpool. That's who he was. Nice Pool is what his name was.
Nice Pool.
No mask, long hair, beard,
and he kept saying,
just
"I
nice.
have to protect the face.
You gotta protect the face." It was just, and he says, "People, they call me Nice Pool."
And he had the dog, Papa. He was like, "That's I'm."
And
her
he had
Papa.
Dog Pool with him. Dog Pool kept running away from him and finding Deadpool Prime.
And he was like, "You're not a very good Papa."
He's like, the little scamp keeps escaping because the dog was trying to get away from his ass. So
he had golden guns,
golden deagles that Ryan Reynolds had his eye on the whole movie. I knew,
golden pistoleros.
He's like,
I'm surprised he didn't walk off with those.
He was like,
over my dead body.
Yeah, you can get my deagles over my dead body. And then Ryan Reynolds Prime was like, okay. So I knew he was screwed. I knew Nice Pool was screwed the second he said that.
So they are like, we need to find out where Johnny Storm mentioned that there were, outlier people on the edge somewhere in the borderlands that have managed to escape Cassandra.
And this is where we get to the best part of the movie with the best cameos, which I'll tell you right off the bat, since you don't mind, spoilers. Storm does not make an appearance.
Oh, man.
And I was so pissed. I was so because but then it made sense. That would have been too powerful. Storm is almost pretty much at some point like a level 10 threat. She would have been way too powerful. Omega level, yeah. Because our big baddest was considered an Omega level mutant. She was Storm would have been too powerful. But I wanted to see, and I assumed Holly Berry. But now I'm thinking that Ryan Reynolds purposely. Because I heard that they leaked fake leaks on purpose. They like X-23, which is who they bumped into, X-23 from Logan. There was a leaked picture of X-23 wearing the yellow. Never happened. I saw that picture. I was like, oh wow, she's wearing the Logan yellow. Nope. She's there, but no.
She did make an appearance?
She made an appearance.
She not in the
but
yellow.
She was she was a key surprise.
Well,
Ryan Reynolds said that we don't have cameos. We have surprises.
He said, because he was like, cameos indicate a quick in and out. Like they just you see them and you're like, oh, that's so cool, and that's it. They're done. He goes, pivotal. Everybody that you see, they have a purpose.
Yeah,
they're part of the story.
Yeah, and she was very much so.
So the Nice Pool gives them his car, Betsy. He's like, she'll get you there. And it's a Honda Odyssey.
Yeah. But that's a good
How many people do they cram in the Odyssey?
Oh, this is just
it's just the two of them in there.
It's the buddy travel thing. But the fact that it's a road trip now and Deadpool's annoying the hell out of him, and that's when he accidentally lets it slip.
Taylor Swift music.
There's your Taylor Swift cameo. Just the music. But he lets it slip that we can go out there and maybe the TVA can fix your world. And it's like pumps up. What the hell do you mean maybe?
Because he goes, wait a minute, what did you say? And he goes, well, when you get back. And he goes, no, before that. That maybe they can fix it. And he goes, you said they could. He goes, well, it was an educated wish. And he was like,
this educated wish was used a couple times in the movie. An educated wish. But he just straight up lied to Wolverine about his world being saved.
Then leads to
is that where the brawl ensues?
24 hours of just beating the crap
beating the hell out of that Honda Odyssey. but Ricky Buzz brings up. Let's talk about all the Wolverines that happened right in the beginning of the movie. Like there was a montage moment when he's trying to find the perfect Wolverine,
short Wolverine,
where he finds all the classic Wolverines throughout the comic book history. Like think of your favorite or most classic iconic X-Men cover. the X-Men cover where Wolverine has his claws out and you can see Hulk in the reflection. That that moment happened.
The one with no hand.
The one. What was it? The Age of Apocalypse Wolverine, where he had that missing hand and that big 90s
like rocker
hair. Yeah. And he's beating the hell out of. He bumps into all these Wolverines trying to find the perfect one, but most of them just kick his ass, and he's like, "Nope, let me try another one." The Wolverine where he's at the gambling table, he's got the eye patch.
It's like James Bond.
He's like James Bond, but they're all played by Hugh Jackman, and he's like, "No," and he stabs him in the head. Nope, this is the wrong one. And then he goes into another world where, and this one's been leaked heavily on TikTok, where he sees this big jacked.
And he's like,
Wolverine. He's
this
like,
is what I'm looking for.
This is it. Oh, I love this. Got the motorcycles revving it up. Like, you know what? From the back, you look like Henry. Turns around. It's Henry fucking Cavill.
Oh!
Yep. I tried to spare you this, buddy, but you're going to get...
And he immediately is like...
This makes me even more excited.
The cigar in his mouth... Jacked, I mean, just and what Ryan Reynolds
is he wearing a wife beater?
Yes. Wearing this, yes, that jacked. Yeah,
he immediately is like
Wolverine.
He's like,
Didn't
man,
say it.
And he's like, man, we will. You know what? Forget those
guys from down the street.
We'll treat you so good.
We'll treat you so good here. We'll treat you so good. He said, you were just leaving. And obviously this is the wrong Wolverine because he immediately attacks him. But what I noticed, and tell me if you guys noticed this, or did you notice this after the fact? I didn't notice it I noticed it after the fact. When Henry Cavill pulls out the claws, he does this. Do you get the reference?
Yep.
I didn't get it until somebody put both videos side to side. Yeah.
Yep.
What is it about Henry Cavill going back to that Mission Impossible? It's like that moment was his most badass moment. The man played Superman.
Yeah.
But what was it about that scene that everybody loved when he pumped the fist?
Who suggested it? Was it Ryan that
suggested it? I don't know. But the fact that that's how he pulled the claws out, and when you watch Mission Impossible scene, and
that's fan service right there.
It was epic for the wall breaking. I loved it. But when he finally landed on the Wolverine that he picked, they laughed at it. This is the worst Wolverine. And, and then the adventure begins. So the metaphor was, this Wolverine obviously felt his world, but it was still the perfect Wolverine because it was something that X-23 said to him because he felt like, I'm the wrong guy. He said,
I'm the wrong one. She goes, you always were.
You always were the wrong guy until you weren't.
Until you weren't.
So and it was perfect tie-in to give love back to Logan.
Yeah.
It was because that was exactly how it was with Logan, and she was 100% the right person to say exactly that. It's like because he was pretty much telling I'm not him. I know in your world I'm your dad, but he's getting drunk. I'm not him. But you're just like him. You're 100. You drink just as much as pretty much what he said. Yeah, no, you are him. You might as well be the same guy. But when we saw X-23, that was after the fight in the Honda, that 24-hour fight, and she was the one.
They're both like passed out.
And she's the one who pulls them out.
Deadpool's bandaged up like a mummy with a seatbelt.
Yeah, that fight was badass. Both of the times that Wolverine and Deadpool fought, it was epic, and they acknowledged it. It's like you nerds are about to love this. I look right at the camera. You nerds are gonna love. And both times he did not disappoint. The best fight scenes were between Wolverine and
they would make reference to the fact too that we can't die.
Oh yeah,
it's
about to get bloody.
So did you get the reference of the 24-hour fight though?
No, there was that. That happened in a comic book?
Do you remember the movie They Live?
Yeah.
You remember Roddy Piper?
Yeah, his partner didn't believe him at first, right?
That fight?
Did that fight last for 24 hours?
No, but that was were the longest fight scenes on film. And it was intended to be such. That was the point of that. So this was, I guarantee you, this was a nod.
It felt, it felt like that. It felt like because he's trying to convince him to come along with him. He doesn't.
With
he's
the
reluctant.
Bumper sticker on the back that says coexist.
It was a very, very liberal, because it was Nice Pool's car. He's like, this is old Betsy, he'll get you there. It's namaste. He takes the dog back. Or all Ryan Reynolds tried to run away with that dog, but they were in a cornfield. He was like, and he couldn't escape fast enough, and he apologized to the dog. The corn was too thick. I'm sorry, I couldn't save you, but I promise I will get you, Dogpool. But that was thanks, Ricky, for that. Yeah, that was one of the best parts of it. He says, feels like we should have gotten Ghost Rider. I thought about that after the fact, because I know you saw that in the trailer. The big bads, their lair was Ant-Man's body, dead body. And when they burst through, okay, well, before we get to that part, when we meet X-23, there was also Elektra. She was a part of the group. At first I thought that was a Scarlet Witch. At first, I was like,
Ryan is like, so you are one, and she goes, are you
Wonder Elektra? And like a lot of people, what was the joke? A lot of people didn't make it. Like Daredevil died. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, no, I'm sorry. That little dig.
Well, they made fun of Hugh Jack Wolverine even before that, where he was like, yeah, he let himself go since the divorce.
Oh, I could not believe that they did a joke on Hugh Jackman's divorce. He's been bad ever since the divorce. After their escape from the big bad, they were like all hugged up on each other, and he's like, the way they landed, Deadpool was on top of Logan, and he's like, get off of me. He's like, wait, I'm not done yet. Like, you're not done doing what? And he's like, I gotta get my knife. Like, get your thoughts out of my head. Like something like, what did Deadpool say? Get your dirty thoughts out of my pants. I'm telling Blake. So the cuts went very personal. It was a lot of deep cuts. But besides, after we met Elektra, then the next person to walk in was Wesley Snipes. Blade.
And which is my favorite.
I was so shocked that Blade was there, because I totally, because I pushed it out of my brain, forgot that Ryan Reynolds and him were together in Blade 3. I totally forgot about that, because that movie was so bad.
And they're like,
I don't like you.
Yeah, and he goes, yeah, you never did.
You never did. So the joke about them not getting along, they keep it going. And then Mr. Gambit himself shows up, Shannon Tatum as Gambit,
with a very, very, very thick Cajun accent.
And I think that was the joke, because they were leaning in on his comedy. Because
Ryan Reynolds kept saying, "Who is your accent coach? The Minions?"
You
could
barely understand. It was
played it up.
His accent was so thick, and then some of the scenes are trending on TikTok right now. It was something he said like, "Oh, I was born ready. I shot out my daddy dick. I shot out my daddy dick, and then right into my mama, saw the doc and said, 'What up, doc?' Or something like it was but in that Cajun accent. Shannon Tatum was one of the best parts of this movie. He's like, and he kept giving homage to the movie that he never got. Like in the final fight scene with the big bad, when they wanted to break back into the bad guy's lair to try to force. What is the big bad's name again? Cassandra to release, to help them get out of the void. And Shannon Tatum was like, "Oh, I'm going to make a name for myself. You're going to tell people what you saw here today." And that was obviously a nod to the fact that he never got his shot. He was pretty much telling the audience, "You're about to see what I could have done had I had my own movie." He's like, "I'm about to make a name for my..." And he had the moves. I said, Channing Tatum is just doing his dance moves and stuff while he's fighting, but he kicked ass. I saw a video on TikTok where a guy was like, when I heard about the Channing Tatum vs. Gambit thing, I was like, that is the stupidest thing I ever heard of. But after seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm like, yep, Fox should have greenlit that movie. Shannon crushed it. It's Channing Tatum. He crushed it, and I agree. I didn't think that it would work, but he proved me wrong again, which now makes me think that Men in Black meets 21 Jump Street that leaked. I don't know if you heard about that. That was actually in the plans, possibly crossing that over. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing ever. But now I'm like, no, do it. Do it. This man can do no wrong. And they say they still want to do it. Sony thought of crossing over 21 Jump Street and Men in Black, having them try to become Men in Black. But I'm thinking they should do it. But the whole process of the Paradox from the TVA wanting to destroy Deadpool's universe, it's because they just want to. I think that it's a metaphor of just wanting to move on, get everything back on track with the MCU, and let's just forget about everything that happened with Fox. But this movie did something so perfect where, and it wasn't always great with Fox. These Fox movies, some of them were epic and they were great. Perfect movies, almost perfect movies like X-Men Part 2. I love that movie, but some of them were wah-wah. But this movie did such a great job of giving the characters like Elektra, who they felt were, I guess, not utilized as good as they could have been. They had that flop after flop after flop, and even Blade. I mean, even though Blade 1 and 2 was so great, but Blade 3, it's like they didn't get their ending that they felt like they deserved or they could have had. This was the moments, especially that final fight. That's what Blade and Elektra and Gambit were fighting for, to have that one last moment where you could have seen what we really could have done with the right, I guess, rioters, the right backing, what Fox, the potential Fox really could have had. And I think that's what they were really going for. In my opinion,
last minute redemption.
That last minute of redemption, I feel like they pulled it off. I think, and I think that's exactly what they were saying in the exposition. Like when he said, "I'm going to make a name for myself. You're going to remember what I did here today." And that's one of the scenes that's trending all over TikTok right now is Gambit, and people thinking, "Damn, no, let him be Gambit. Let him. I hope they bring him back." I won't go too far into the ending of it because even though we spoiled like a big chunk of the movie, we honestly didn't even get into a lot.
See, one of my favorite lines is Blade's line.
What, motherfucker still trying to ice skate uphill?
No, he used it. He got the line.
yeah, he went back to it.
Line.
Yeah, motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate uphill. That line didn't hit you that hard. I don't know if you remembered it from part one, but the second he said it, I was like, yes! I couldn't believe he said it.
No, when they are going to attack.
Oh my God! Yes.
He comes out of the top with like a big bazooka bazooka gun thing.
He said, "Where'd you get that from?" He said, "Oh, one of the Punishers." And like, which one? There's been like 5.
And he goes, "There's only." He goes, "There's only been one Blade, and there's only ever gonna be one Blade." And Ryan looks at the screen and goes,
"Sure about that?"
Somebody gonna tell him?
You sure about that? Or Wesley's right, because this movie
they still hadn't made that damn movie.
This movie still hasn't been greenlit. What the hell is going on? So the question is, was Ryan Reynolds looking at the camera because Blade is wrong, or was Ryan Reynolds looking at the camera like, "Come on, Kevin, get this thing. Come on, Kevin." So the redemption, the legacy of Fox, I think this thing played homage to it, because at the end of the movie played that old song that they always play at like weddings, something unpredictable, and then they showed all the footage from old
tons
Fox.
of behind the scenes reels from all
the old Fox
X-Men movies and Elektra and different things.
Yeah, so they really wanted to.
They had like in the void a big 20th Century Fox like
logo
broken like.
I mean, to be fair, Deadpool really did throw some jabs. He's like, "Suck it, Fox! I'm going to Disney." Like he threw a lot of jabs, but overall, the movie did a great job on
putting on the
homage and tribute.
Putting on the mask at the end.
Oh yeah, finally seeing Wolverine with the mask that we see behind us right here. Finally see him in And I was afraid that it wouldn't work. But the way he's like, look how cool his mask look. He's threatening like Batman. But this guy can move his neck. You know, so
they said it.
He's like Batman, but he can move his neck. So it's like it was, and that's exactly what it was.
So many great lines.
It made you go, damn it, Fox. Seeing it here now. This whole time, because that's honestly the story of Deadpool. They didn't want to do the Deadpool movie, and Ryan said he was lucky that they even let him do the test footage, and that's another reason why I love watching interviews, because there was an interview where Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman were putting each other on a lie detector test, and while Ryan was the one hooked up, Hugh Jackman asked him, the Deadpool footage when the first Deadpool movie came out was leaked. Were you the one who leaked it? And Ryan was like, pass. He wouldn't know how to answer the question. He knows he leaked it. And if it wasn't for that, Fox never would have made that movie. But when they saw how great the test footage was received, they did it. And then the rest was history. So how many other... So what Gambit have worked? What all these other movies work? I'm sorry, what was it?
Seeing there's lots of fighting at the end, and you get Wolverine and Deadpool side by side in the air, and this majestic shot of Wolverine and the claws and in that comic book position. Yeah, way up in the air, and it looks so
like badass. It looks like a comic book cover or a thumbnail with the way they were posed for slow motion after the big fight with all the Deadpools. There was a bunch of variant Deadpools.
And as soon as the slow mo ends,
Deadpool doesn't stick the landing.
Wolverine lands all majestic, and Deadpool just falls. He's like,
what? I'm ruined it. Damn it! And so it's a lot of self-deprecating jabs.
To see
you got
Wolverine's abs, to which Ryan Reynolds is like,
take it in, America. Oh, speaking of America, there was that one line with when the TVA was trying to first get Deadpool, and I think they were in the mountains. Something about, for some reason, Canada came up. He was like, Logan, I can't believe you desecrated the body of Logan. He was like, he was a hero, and the only good thing that ever come out of the godforsaken Canada, and Deadpool, being Ryan Reynolds, he's like a Canadian.
He's like,
sword right in the mouth.
Get my country's
name out your fucking mouth.
and my sword.
Yeah. So I mean it was the bloodiest one. It was I'm gonna say I had this one because of the whole buddy cop aspect of it. This Deadpool movie was the most fun out of all of them. But I think the first one still had more heart. I don't know, because I like the Vanessa thing, and that wasn't really there with this. This was a love story between Deadpool and Wolverine, but all the other Deadpools is a love story about Deadpool and Vanessa. I mean, he wants to save Vanessa, but it was only because he loved her, even though they weren't really together anymore. So he was still a noble guy. He said his whole world was just his 9 friends in that little picture. That's his whole where he screw everybody else. His whole world was just them. So the heart was still there, but this wasn't a Vanessa Deadpool love story again. I guess they did it twice. I guess they felt like they didn't have to do it. The love story was really about Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, their friendship. That was the love story for this movie. Now, but I thought it worked, and I'm still wondering.
Ryan Reynolds and his baby knife. Every time he used it, baby knife.
That was her favorite part.
Say it.
While he's fighting sword, baby knife.
He would say it, baby knife.
So the little jabs here and there, I thought there was so many things that I thought was going to be in it. Like there was so many cameos that I was looking forward to. I thought for a second that the big bad was going to be Mojo. Remember, I thought maybe it was going to be, and that I've only seen that character in like the cartoon and stuff like that. But I know he's like an alien that like runs like a intergalactic reality TV show where he makes heroes and fight, for real for the universe's entertainment. I was thinking that it was going to go there, but that might have been too much of a deep cut for Deadpool. But the story that we got.
Any hints of Galactus?
No, but the comic. Speaking of which, off topic, the San Diego Comic-Con trailer footage. Somebody leaked it on the Fantastic Four trailer. They leaked it, so you can see that. Yeah, it's on there. But no, not mentioned in this one.
We also have Peter Pool.
Remember Peter? Yeah, Peter from Deadpool 2. The theory is, so what do you think? I think he's just loved by Deadpool, but he at one point to stop the fighting between all the other multiverse Deadpools, and those multiverse Deadpools were funny as hell. You know, Lady Deadpool, you got Baby Deadpool, you had Kid Pool, which was a little girl who has the most filthiest mouth out of all the Deadpools, allegedly.
Deadpool, that's just a head.
Headpool, yeah.
Then the
Japanese samurai Deadpool.
The one with the red, white, and green. He doesn't speak, but it's actually from his Wrexham. It was a guy from his Wrexham team because it's.
Oh yeah, that's what that Deadpool was wearing.
Nice nod.
That's a nice nod to him.
There was a country western Deadpool.
Yeah,
and that was Matthew McConaughey's voice.
Yeah, she called it. I didn't recognize it. He should have just said, all right. That would have been funny.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of all the pools that were in there, and that fight between Wolverine and Deadpool and all of his variants reminded me of that hallway fight on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 when they had to go from one end of the hall to the other. It was pretty much almost shot just like that. It was. But 10 times bloodier. 10 times bloodier.
And you kill them all, but then they regenerate.
Well, you think they can all regenerate, but it turns out
there's a tiny baby Deadpool too that doesn't talk. You know, it's just sucking on a pacifier. Remember at the
they wouldn't let Baby Pool fight. I mean,
no, but at the end, when they forget that they all regenerate, he looks at him and he's like, "What are you laughing at?"
And then y'all start regenerating.
And then he's all like, "Oh yeah, they all come back."
But the one Deadpool that can't regenerate.
Nice Pool.
Oh, you know he had to murk Nice Pool.
He murked him. Yeah, he's like,
He's like, how long did it take you to regenerate?
He grabs Nice Pool and purposely uses him as a shield as Lady Deadpool is shooting the hell out of him. Yeah, how long does it take you to regenerate? He's like, regenerate? What are you talking about? Oops.
Give me those golden pistoleros you got there.
And it looks like Dogpool has a new papa. So it was.
Which they don't fight.
It was a plan.
When the dog pool runs across there, everybody just freezes to let the dog go across.
Yeah. All the Deadpools, like, you know, that cute little puppy. The fighting stops when Dogpool is in there. So I'm assuming Dogpool can't regenerate. Maybe they're from the same Earth. Dog.
And then, they go to fight again, and then here comes Peter in the Deadpool outfit on a bike.
And he makes all the Deadpools stop
and
fighting.
They're all like, you have a Peter? And he's like, they're like, every Deadpool has a Peter. We love Peter.
So they all stop. Yeah.
Yeah. Every Deadpool has a Peter, and he's wearing the costume.
He's wearing the costume, and it's like
but his nuts are huge. So is Peter supposed to be a metaphor for Deadpool's penis? So I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out. But it was hilarious. So. When I won't tell you how because I don't want to spoil that much of it for you. When they finally save the world and everything, when everything goes back to normal and
the TVA lady loved Peter Pool.
Oh yeah,
she was like, "You look really good in that suit."
But when everything is, you know, the dust is settled and we get back home and everything. One of the things that confused me before we move on to the next topic, we wrap this up. One of the things that confused me, besides the whole, what was it called? Anchor being. Because, so the concept of an anchor being doesn't make sense to me because Wolverine is only 200 years old. Who was the anchor being before Wolverine was born?
They didn't say he was the anchor being in every single universe.
No, but for that universe he was. Yeah. So who was the anchor being before he was born?
Who knows?
And after Anchor Being dies, it takes 1,000 years for but that's why I think it was just a metaphor for studio or for this cinematic universe or something because
it's a good way to just look at to highlight a character variant.
Because Wolverine
to designate a specific character variant and to give them a little bit of a spotlight for a little while.
For example, like you would think it would be Superman, but for the DCEU, no, the anchor being would technically be Batman. Because he's the cash cow, he's the money maker. And the second it wasn't working anymore, and they said I guess they used the Logan death thing to be a metaphor for that was the beginning of the end of the Fox Marvel universe.
That makes sense.
So I'm like that. So I'm thinking, don't look too deep into meaning of this anchor being thing. I don't think they're going to use it ever again moving forward. I think it was just a metaphor for Fox. Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is the anchor being for the Fox Marvel universe. He kept telling him,
Disney's going to own you until you're like 90.
Yeah.
Till you're 90. You're going to do this till you're 90.
Till you're fucking 90. Which, at this point, that's it. So far, it's true. He's still doing it. But I had a great time with it. I know there was some some more comments. We'll go through them all before. You got 1, 2, 3 in that color. The story was pretty plain. Says it was a buddy cop movie. I mean, it followed pretty much the same formula of most buddy cop like travel adventure type movies, but it was still a fucking Deadpool movie, man. It still had all the epic things that we love about Deadpool. So I wouldn't say it was plain, but I understand what you're trying to say. What was this? I am now. I don't know what they were.
They're somebody as a new person.
Oh, okay.
Saying I'm new here.
Oh, okay. This was Mrs. Kevin. Says, I'm not shocked or surprised that Marvel Studios is going. What am I? I gotta expand it.
It's going the safe route.
Just to make a profit and always not to offend people. When did they do that? When did they go the safe route?
I don't think they're doing it with Deadpool.
I was going to say, I don't think they were trying not to offend people.
This is the one that's free to offend all.
They even acknowledged the woke term. Deadpool was like, in some scenes in the beginning, Deadpool seemed to be like the anti-woke guy. He was like, I think he was a flat earther. He was really going the other way with it. I was like, wow, this was kind of funny.
And he was like, I'm Marvel Jesus.
I'm Marvel Jesus. Even though a lot of people got offended with that, right? With him calling himself that. But no, Marvel Jesus did an outstanding job. It was great, man. We saw it twice. We got the jokes in. I got I'm trying to get my notes in. Oh my goodness. When the TVA suited Deadpool up for the first time, that tailor, he's like, I'm gonna go in the back room with your tailor and get suited up. And this creepy old guy was his tailor, helping him get suited up. He puts the gloves on, zips him up really slow. Zips up his crotch, cups his balls, turns him around, smacks him on the ass a little bit, helps him put his swords in, smacks him on the ass again. I'm like, what is going on? He's like, well, you're...
And he's like, your tailor's a predator, I think.
So it was... And that's why that was the scene in the trailer when he comes out the elevator, like, because he loved it. But, I mean, they had a whole bunch of... I already mentioned the Blake joke. You're joining. When he went with Henry Cavill, he was like, "You're gonna love it here," but you're joining the MCU at a little bit of a low point now. But we're gonna work it out. So there was a lot of jokes at Disney's expense that I love. Calverine, I already mentioned that.
The Thor thing.
Okay.
We don't know what that was, but
okay. So
the TVA.
How the TV has all the monitors and stuff like that. He's showing them Captain America.
There's a lot of Avengers
that they show from different universes and stuff like that. So there was a scene where the paradox from the TVA says, "This is you're not supposed to see that. What's that on that screen? It's you're not. That's nothing. It's something from the distant future."
And it's Deadpool with half of his mask gone.
It looks like after a big battle. And
he's being cradled by Thor.
Which I couldn't tell if that was really... Was that really Chris Hemsworth? It looked like him. I guess it was. Thor crying his ass off. Was cradling a dying Deadpool.
And he's like, what is that? He's
like,
oh no, that's something way in the future. You don't worry about that.
I wonder if that's Secret Wars.
Exactly. So I'm like, did they just show us a scene that's going to, because
every time after that he gets knocked out and wakes up going, oh, Thor.
He's still he's fantasizing about this Thor thing.
I'm okay.
So
like, he just says something with Thor every time.
The question is So, Thor is besides Deadpool shows that he's the one, and besides the Guardians of the Galaxy, is the one character who's willing to go that extra silly route. So I'm thinking Thor, silly Thor, will be the bridge to help justify Deadpool doing any type of scene with any of the Avengers. I'm thinking Thor is going to be that bridge.
That tie-in.
To make it make a little sense. Like, why is... Because I know Thor would get a kick out of Deadpool. He's probably... Maybe they become best friends. Maybe... Because he was crying his ass off.
As much as they need to inject some interest into the series, the Disney series, they really need to bring a Deadpool. At least
the Deadpool series?
No, just a cameo. If he can, a little tie into the series to give a little bit of that feel. I think that would be the little thing that would get a lot of attention to one of the series. Or even just because they're Secret Wars. I don't know if that's going to be a film.
Secret Wars is the sixth. It's going to be the sixth of Avengers movie. Or are you talking about this picture right here? Or what are you talking about? You talking about Secret Wars?
Yeah,
Secret Wars is going to be Avengers 6.
Avengers 6.
Avengers 5 is Doomsday. It's going to be Avengers Doomsday. So so it's, first it was supposed to be Kang Dynasty, then Secret Wars, but now it's changed Doomsday, then Secret Wars.
Now at the end, technically it's not mid-credits, it's just that homage to Fox. There is an end credits that way at the freaking end. But it's not like most of the ones you're used to seeing where it goes with something that's coming next. Normally you see
Deadpool will return or something like
or
that?
Like the one with Samuel L. Jackson, where they're getting like it's something that goes with a future movie. This end credit scene.
The end credit scene was well, we didn't. You know what? I'll save that. I'm just saying. I'll save
there is an end credit.
We didn't talk much about what happened with.
And it's good to watch. It's just not the normal one that you're used to seeing.
There's something that happened in the beginning of the movie that gets tied up in the very end that you don't see coming. So that one I won't spoil. The very end credit, I won't spoil that one for you because I think you will get a kick out of that joke.
Okay.
So, but I know what you were talking about. Last thing I want to bring up, I guess we can all talk about plainly. So Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine, $444 million in the worldwide in the first weekend. And
yesterday, Tuesday night, it broke a record for a Tuesday night a week after the movie. Another.
Cha-ching.
Yeah.
So
Cha-ching.
It made a lot of money on a random Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, here we go. This is what we got. Grossing. This is from today. I looked at this. It was still around $400-something million, and I refreshed it a few minutes ago, and this is where it's at right now. Internationally, 300 million. Domestically, 280 million total worldwide. It's knocking on the door of $600 million worldwide. And it's in the middle of the second week. My question to I posted this question up on Twitter a little bit ago. I do a little screenshot of it. I asked, when will Deadpool and Wolverine hit the $1 billion mark? Week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5. Right now, with early on, people think that it's going to hit $1 billion this weekend. I don't think so. I think week 3. But some people are saying week 4. What would you if you were to guess? What do you think with the pace that it's going? It's already crossed $500 million. Do you think it's going to make up another $300 to $400 million by the end of this Sunday? By next Monday, before next Monday?
That'll be a tough week
before the weekend begins. Okay,
yeah.
Like after Okay, yeah, okay.
I think they'll almost get it after
at least after this Sunday. It's pretty much what you're saying. Yeah, that's week 3. So yeah, I agree. Because usually we have a 50% drop off. I mean, it made $500 million, but 50% of that is like another 200 to 300 million. So it's got the legs though, but it's already in the territory of $1 billion.
Yeah, so Tuesday it made like 25 million, which is broke the record for the best Tuesday ever for an R-rated movie. And then yesterday, it did the same for the best Wednesday ever for an R-rated movie, previously held by The Joker. With that,
it totally crushed The Joker's.
Like The Joker was like 9.6 on a million on a Wednesday, and Deadpool was 19.3 million just on Wednesday yesterday.
I mean, that is the end result of good marketing work and giving the people what they want to see. So it covers a huge populace. It's not like one segment of, one genre of people. Yeah, it's pretty widespread. Widespread and loved is the Deadpool character and this intellectual property. So yeah, this is the trinity of giving good fan service and good marketing and good content.
They said every movie that's ever made that amount of money that fast in the first weekend. There's the car scene. He's like, come on. It made that amount of money, like 200 million worldwide, that fast domestically. Each and every one of them. There's not one movie that's made over $200 million in the first weekend that has not gone to make $1 billion.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get there.
So it's gonna get.
It's gonna get there.
But I'm thinking about the third week.
And another little, because Ryan Reynolds is notorious for his breaking the fourth wall, and when he and Nice Pool.
Yeah, I was wondering when you're going to bring that one up. Because he calls him Van Wilder, because I believe that was really Van Wilder in the Deadpool.
He did say something
about
he did say something about
He's like, you Van Wilder something, and Van Nice Pool was like, I can break the fourth wall too.
And he turns to the script, Nice Pool turns and he goes, the proposal. And then just turns back.
He said, yeah, I can slightly tap the fourth wall as well. The proposal. And Deadpool is like, that's not what I do. Like that's not how I do it. Like everything about Nice Pool just irked him. But it was like the fourth wall tapping and whatnot. But like, oh man, it was a great time. Maybe I'll see it again on the theaters. It's I always judge a movie by its rewatchability. So I saw Deadpool 1 a bunch of times. And are we freezing on YouTube? Mm-hmm. But I saw Deadpool 1 a bunch of times, but I'm already ready to see Deadpool. That's the rewatchable.
For me,
is it working for me? Yeah, it's working.
I see. Sometimes it's my tablet.
Or is it just you?
It's probably just my tablet.
Well, we got to figure it out. Well,
no, it's fine.
It's probably your tablet. That's fine.
My internet's freezing and it's kicking me out.
Well, we'll move on real fast to the next topic. I know I didn't cover as much as I thought because I was hoping we'd all have seen it, but I don't want to spoil. I know this is the spoiler show, but I'd rather just talk. Let's move on to the next topic. So, guys, like I say, if you still want to talk about what's going on with Wolverine, anything you guys want to say, Deadpool and Wolverine, let me know in the box below. Let's real fast. Let's move on to the next topic before we head out here. Okay. So, but what do we have for the next topic? We're going to do why is that trending? Where we go over the latest headlines and trending news. So, what's trending out there?
From Variety, Jonathan Majors told TMZ that he's heartbroken over the news that Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom will be the new villain of the next 2 Avengers movies, effectively replacing Majors' Kang the Conqueror.
You can keep going. Yeah.
Majors was dropped by Marvel in December. On the same day, he was found guilty of 2 misdemeanor counts of harassment and assault. His villain, Kang, was set up as the new Thanos of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and was set to feature prominently in Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, which has now been scrapped and replaced by the Downey starring Avengers: Doomsday. Jonathan Majors answered TMZ with, "Yeah, I'm heartbroken. Of course, I love Kang. Dr. Doom is wicked, though."
Yeah. And I saw that TMZ, that ambush interview, trying to put him on the spot. I'll give Jonathan Majors this. He's going the route of taking the high road. He's not. Hope it lasts. I hope he's starting to get roles again, so he's not gonna show, I guess, any anger, disappointment, and I don't know. I guess you're not gonna. You fired me. That's great, but you're not gonna catch me being unprofessional about it, because maybe there's still a chance. I mean, we might go through Doomsday and Secret Wars with Dr. Doom being the big bad, which is exactly what they're saying this is what's going to happen. But what if? What if? Because Kang said, you can't really take him out. What if? I'm not saying that this is the plan, but what if after Doomsday, maybe Kevin Feige just might have a change of heart, because if Jonathan Majors continues to take the high road, not say anything bad, not act bitter about it, he goes, you know what? Maybe at the very end of the movie of Secret Wars, putting Doomsday in was Kang's big plan all along. Make I have to take a step back for a second, throw Doomsday out there, and I have two theories actually. This is one. But what do you think about that theory? What do you think or would that be too much fan service? Do you think Kevin Feige wouldn't do it? Or is there a chance that Kevin Feige might consider that?
Well, the door has not been shut.
Yeah.
On film, so you can't count them as out till the door's been shut on film. They always have the opportunity open for that character. Yeah. They can always bring him back in a way that makes sense. They've already laid the tracks for that, and they haven't closed the door. So that is perfectly available for them, as to bring that intellectual property and him back as an actor. Whether or not they will is yet to be seen.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. It gets into the kind of the cancel culture, and it's a tough factor because you, as someone that's in the limelight, you want them to be a role model. Mm-hmm. A lot of people assume that they're a role model because they are in film or whatever. That's not necessarily what they sign up for. That is their job. They are an actor, and they're not signing up to be a saint. But you also don't want to support people that are doing immoral actions, or you don't want to promote that type of activity either. Mm-hmm. So it's really tough. But the cancel culture can get, is the fervor of that can be taken in a very negative way really, really quick. I mean, it's up there with
like overcorrection.
It gets. I mean, I hate to add some similarities, but witch trials. Mm-hmm. Okay, stoning people for committing crimes.
Yeah,
that's
that most of the throwers were probably guilty of themselves.
Yeah,
it's just that they weren't.
When you take it to that extreme, it shows one of the worser sides of human nature. Yeah. So you don't want to support that, and the person's got to live. They've made a mistake. Yes, they have to continue to work. They have to feed their family. They have to, there's no need for the punishment fit the crime type thing.
That there's never a path to redemption. That sometimes you're right. It does go too far.
I have pointed out that Robert Downey Jr. himself is.
And the interviewer brought it up. Like, how does it feel? You had a misdemeanor, and my theory is this: because in the midst of it, while the fans were upset that some of these Kang appearances and it wasn't getting the impact that they were getting, like if you compare it to like Thanos' slow rollout, it wasn't hitting. And the fans, you guys were, it's true, you guys were out there, you were nitpicking, you were complaining, okay, was he really that of a threat in Ant-Man 3, and the rollout in Loki, so there were a lot of complaints about it, but I looked at that as the on the writing side of it. I feel like the production of it wasn't anything against Jonathan Majors' acting portrayal of what he was given to work with, but I felt like I honestly would have preferred them stay the course. But I feel like the Disney and Kevin Feige looked at the opportunity and just didn't want to let it slip. It was like, well, fans are already complaining about the way we're rolling Kang out. If he's found guilty of this, because what he was found guilty of was not that he intended to cause harm to his ex-girlfriend, but that injury did happen to her. Like in the moment when he was putting her back in the car to get away from her and closing the door and getting away, she injured herself or she hurt her hand. And his defense was, I didn't hurt her at all. Well, technically you did. You didn't intend to, but you did cause an injury to her, and they used that, and they focused on that, and that's where he got his misdemeanor from. But the TMZ lady was right; she had a valid question. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. has a past too. What's the difference? Does it matter if it's a misdemeanor versus felony? Does it matter how old it is? How long ago? Does it matter because he was in a dark time in his life where drugs and alcohol was involved a lot? Or does it matter because this was harm that was done to there's been a lot of actors that have been guilty of domestic violence and are still, working. So it's like, I think what really factored into it is the fact that the Kang rollout wasn't work. Because I feel like this: if Ant-Man 3 would have made $1 billion, he'd still be. It'd be Kang Dynasty still.
It would have been a contributing factor.
It would have been like, he deserves a second chance and all that. But since the rollout wasn't as great as they hoped it was, not anything against his acting, but the way the fans have received it and they're all being critical about it. And maybe you should bring in Dr. Doom. All right, we brought in Dr. Doom. And now that it always happens. The second you get what you want, then the other complaints come in. Well, come on. Well, I swear to God, it's probably the same people who asked for Dr. Doom are now complaining that we have Dr. Doom and like, no, give Kang another. It's you never know what you got till it's gone. It always happens with these fans.
Even Deadpool mentioned getting canceled.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's true. It's true. I'm always gonna. Hell, Eminem just talked about it while Eminem had a conversation with himself as Slim Shady. I'm getting a kid on TikTok will discover something that Slim Shady's did back in 2001, and I'm getting on Monday, and I'm getting canceled March Madness is like, and I'm getting canceled on Tuesday. So it's like it's a weird situation that he's in. Also, that was in that story was the amount of money that Robert Downey Jr. is being said he's going to make. I don't know if it's both movies combined or if it's each, but the story is that Robert Downey Jr. is about to make $100 million when it's all said and done. That is acting fees and royalties and getting percentages of the what the film of the box office and all that. Because last time it was $50 million. To come back. Now you can't. Obviously you can't pay him the same amount. So now it's $100 million, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's $100 million per movie, not just for both. It's per movie.
Wow.
The highest payout that any actor has ever received. He's well worth it. But what do you think about this news? I mean, is it too much? Is it?
I guess it depends on how the movie does.
I mean, Avengers movies tend to make about $3 billion. So. The $100 million drop in the bucket. What do you think? Robert Downey Jr., $100 million per movie?
RDJ, I mean, the guy's a hell of an actor.
I mean, you can't pay him the same amount.
The guy
just won an Oscar.
The guy's a hell of an actor, man. He's a known quantity. You know what you're going to get. You know he can fill the role. Mm-hmm. Would I've liked to seen maybe some new talent, some younger talent in there? At some point, you got to start thinking about the next generation.
Yeah.
If you don't start planting the seeds now for some of those talents, mm-hmm. You've got to be able to hand that off.
Right.
You've got to develop who's going to be the next RDJ.
Right.
Who's going to be the next guy? Because you've got a lot of those big talents that are leaving. Mm-hmm. You need some younger talent to start building those characters now.
Young Avengers, baby.
And if they don't really start selling it now, and Doom is one of those characters that could have launched a new actor.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes
True,
that is on the fans, because
like I said, they were complaining at first.
They protest so
Doom
bad anytime changes are introduced. Like, we're going to bring in new blood. No, we have to. No one can do it like they can. We got to have no. We don't want to see them. They'll be terrible. We're trying to move things forward, and you guys won't let us.
The fandom, the toxic fandom, whatever you want to call them, the rage baiters, they will always be mad about something. It's like with Star Wars. They're always complaining about what's currently out. But when the next Star Wars project comes out, then they're all like, "Oh, well, The Last Jedi wasn't that bad." That's the same people They will trash The Last Jedi until the Rise of Skywalker came out, and then they trashed The Rise of Skywalker until there was a bad episode of The Mandalorian or something like that, or now with The Acolyte. Yeah. Like, they trashed the prequels until The Acolyte came out, and it was like, you're insulting the legacy of Anakin. Like, you back then you hated hating Christians. You said he was a wooden actor. You said Heath Ledger was Brokeback Mountain guy. He can't play the Joker. You guys say they say these same things until they said Kang wasn't working until Kang was gone. Now it's like, well, put Jonathan Majors as a good actor. He was always a good actor. He was a great actor even then. But I was like, blame the writer. Blame the direction. It wasn't Jonathan Majors. Before we go, there was one theory that I just saw online from this young lady from TikTok, because it's Scorpio Mar SSSSS. I recommend you guys find her on TikTok, listen to her theories on the subject. It was something basically like this. Iron Man is a type of character who always has a contingency plan. Look how fast he figured out time travel, and looking at it not the way Loki looked at time travel, not the way other people look at time travel, but probably the similar way that Kang looked at it from a scientific level. Kang, and she didn't mention this much of it, but this is where I connected it to. Kang, when he figured out how time really works, you notice that he wasn't, in Loki, he wasn't afraid of being taken out, being killed, because he knew that if he always has a piece of himself somewhere else, and that he could use Loki to, help him finish off his master plan and think like this. Basically, what she says in these two videos that I saw talk about this stuff, wouldn't it make sense that a man who discovered how to time travel that fast would not also, just like Kang figured it out, how to also have a contingency plan to cheat death? And I was like, okay, well, I like where this is going. And she continued on where she would say, remember how Robert Downey Jr. said his main goal was to get back to his family, Pepper Potts and his daughter, and how he left a piece of himself. He talked about death, and then almost that message that hologram said, how pretty much saying like this is like, even death kind of isn't the end. Maybe this wasn't the intention, but now that we saw how Kang used time in different multiverses and knew how to cheat death through time travel and whatnot, maybe Iron Man, who is known for adapting, his suit failed when it reached a certain atmosphere. By the next movie, he's able to go into outer space in his suit. His suit gets ripped off of him. By the next movie, nanotechnology. His suit shield failed him with Thanos. Wakanda laser hologram shield. He's always adapting. By the next movie, Iron Man always evolves that technology. So if he figured out time travel, if he knew that death was probably the way it was going to end, he would probably have figured out a way, just like Kang seems to have, to put a piece of himself somewhere else to come back to his family in the end. And maybe that's why Doctor Doom is he's Tony Stark variant.
A Tony Stark variant. I mean,
because maybe he has to be reactivated to go back to the Tony Stark that he really is, or something like that, with this Kang thing. And maybe my dream of then Kang comes out and he goes, that was my plan the whole time. I don't know.
Well,
I'm combining this person's theory and my theory together. And now, but but that was basically what she was getting at in her TikTok video, that maybe, just maybe, Tony Stark figured all this stuff out while he was inventing time travel and knew to put himself somewhere else in another universe, in hopes that the Avengers would, when they need him, would be able to find him again. Or he because remember what Tony Stark. Remember what Robert Downey Jr. said at Comic-Con. Different mask, same task. What the hell does that mean? Different mask, same task. And when she said all that stuff,
what was one of his goals though, as Iron Man? What was
to put a shield around the world? To put a shield to save the world by putting a shield around the world.
What was Doom's main focus?
I don't know much about it. I mean,
to basically protect his own sovereign country that he runs and owns.
Okay.
And build his power base that no one can touch him there, and no one can touch his people and protect his people. And he took very good care of his country, his people. He protected.
From what I remember, I heard the Wakovians were happy. Like they
treated him.
He was a dictator. But he treated his people good.
They loved him. Yeah, absolutely.
Same, different mask, same. I don't know. I like her theory. I like her theory, where she talks about
wishful thinking, man.
That through the same way that Kang is doing it, that he'll find a way, and maybe that's how we'll get our Tony Stark back, and now he'll come back to Pepper Potts and his daughter and stuff and all that, because he's figured out. He looked at it at a scientific level, like, okay, I can get sacrificed, I can die, but Iron Man always has a contingency plan, always, and that's always been a consistent throughout the Marvel movies, that if he fails at something, he figures out a way around it by the next one. So and it seems like Kang figured it out. He was laughing about it in the Loki series. When that fight between Loki and Shuri kept happening, and Kang burst in like, oh, you still haven't figured it out yet, huh? So I'm like, if that scientist could figure it out, I'm leaning towards it. Guys, go to her TikTok and watch her videos on this theory. It's pretty interesting. I'm thinking there's something there. Another reason why I think she's onto something is because, and I don't have it up, but I wish I did. Go back and look at the Avengers Doomsday and the Avengers Secret Wars new logo that they came up with. Look at the coloring of it. You remember what the color? The Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday was green, obviously, for Dr. Doom. But Avengers Secret Wars, originally when it was rolled out, they used navy blue. The colors that they have now with the new logo is Avengers Secret Wars. It's red and yellow. Right when you introduced Robert Downey Jr., you got him as as Dr. Doom, but the last logo for why Iron Man colors?
Why did they change the colors?
Why did they change the colors from blue, which were Kang colors in a way?
That would be neat to watch. If you start seeing the colors keep flopping continually on different media, that could be calling out to characters that are going to be in Secret Wars.
Red and yellow to me is just Iron Man, but if they change I mean,
red and yellow is Deadpool and Wolverine.
That's
they like those tie-ins. They like to leave
maybe that's why they used that color, because they were giving a nod to the go out and see Deadpool and
dangle
Wolverine.
Little Easter eggs, because there's nothing that you can glean from it unless you can guess, but it's not a real spoiler. But just some marketing. If someone comes to market and go, hey, we're going to use these colors for the deal. and someone up top knows why.
Right.
Marketing's just like, oh, no, they told me it's these colors, so I did.
I just can't help but
there has to be a purpose.
When she said her theory, the original colors were they were black and white pretty much. It was just plain like silver and black. I think Kang. Oh no, there it is. There's a lot. It's heavy in the blue. But now there it is. And then now it is Iron Man colors. It looks Iron Man-ish. So I don't know. I feel like this TikTok lady, I think her Scorpion Mars SS is I think she might be onto something. I think Tony Stark has figured out a way, like Kang, how to cheat death, and is using this evil version of himself to come, because there was a good version of Kang and Loki. So maybe there's a way that Tony figured out how to because she also mentioned that because Doctor Strange looked through the future and all those different possibilities. While Tony was figuring out time travel, he must have jumped on undiscovered arcing timelines and all different. He must have noticed it too when he was figuring out time travel. So, in that moment between Doctor Strange and him, that it could all be connected, or at least they could put that in that was Tony's plan all along. Yeah, you're gonna die, but you'll come back in about 5 or 10 years or something like that. And they were just talking with their eyes.
It's comic books. So
yeah, it's comic books. They were talking with their eyes. You're gonna die, but then Jonathan Majors is gonna get fired. Then you're gonna, they talk the whole thing, and then it's gonna be a big thing. Then you're gonna come back, $100 million. You're back. What do you think? And he's like, but he was just doing this the whole time. Just
what a payday.
That's what Doctor Strange was saying. $100 million. That's what Doctor Strange was. That one when he was holding that one up.
Just one.
$100 million.
It's like Austin Powers.
And then Robert Downey Jr. saw that payday and was like, fine, I am Iron Man. Boom. Let's get paid, baby. 2026, 27, whenever these movies are going to come out. I don't know. I know this isn't two hot takes, but that's my hot take of the week. There's my theory of why Doctor Strange was telling Tony, you're about to get paid, Robert. About to get paid. But what do you guys think about my wild theories? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think there's still a chance for Kang to come out at the very, very, very end? It was Kang all along, just like Agatha. Or do you think this is it for Jonathan? I think I feel like if he stays on this path, if he stays nice about it, doesn't throw jabs, throw shade, I think Kevin might let him come back. I mean, if you built your reputation up with the fans, so it's safe to now bring you back in Disney. I mean, it was a misdemeanor. It was a conviction, but it was in comparison to a lot of other currently working actors in Disney.
That's probably
fair is
going to
fair.
depend on Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, and like I said, his attitude.
Are we going to stay the straight and narrow and not have any more incidences of anything?
Yeah. Are you and Megan Good, gonna, stay on screen, be normal, and don't, just stay on this? I just say, whatever path that he's on right now, it seems like
obviously we know
he's a good actor.
Maybe the Flash dude, and we couldn't stay on the straight and narrow. It's going to take time for that fervor to die.
Yeah, it'll take time, but I have a feeling that if he does, Kevin might give him his job back, and we might have a surprise Kang at the very end once good Tony Stark comes back. Because we know, come on, he's gonna turn back into a good person one way or another. Whether he finds another good Iron Man or brings Iron Man back to life through time travel, something's gonna happen. He's gonna come back, and then Kang's gonna come out like, I was Agatha all along. I don't know. That's my theory. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, guys. That's the show. I know we went overtime. on it, and because we got really excited about the Deadpool talk. Guys, go out there and go check out Deadpool and Wolverine. It was awesome. Maybe I will check it out one more time. Don't forget, if you want to come back tomorrow, we're going to have another horror discussion with Tyler Causey for After Dark. We're going to go see, well, I'm not, I thought I was going to go see it. She's going to go screen the M. Night Shyamalan movie with, is it?
Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett's Trap. She's going to check that out and review it for you guys. So come back tomorrow and watch After Dark with Tyler Causey. All right, guys, that's the show. Thank you for talking to the medias with us. I'm your host, Chris Fagan. You can find me on all of my socials on, where is it at? Put my name back up on the board there. Chris W. Fagan on all the socials. If you want to find this lovely young lady, where can people find you online, babe?
My TikTok's Viola Fagan, and my Instagram is Scrub Hats and More by Joy.
Looks like Robert Downey Jr. is just judging. What'd you say about my paycheck? And Robert Reed, if people want to find you online, where can they do so?
You can find me in socials at RXR Props.
And being judged by Robert Downey Jr. Look at that. Guys, like I said, thank you guys for joining us. And until next time, guys, have a good one. Thank you guys for watching our video. I really do appreciate it. Remember, you can support our show by becoming a member or a patron. So click the subscribe button. Don't forget to ring the bell for notifications so you'll never miss out on when we go live or post new content. Let's stay connected, grow this community together. Like, subscribe, comment, and let's keep talking.